Here we have shots from the lead car, come video car, come Northern Echo reporter car. Welcome to Frank Johnson.
There's some of the blind girl there. I think she's a decent runner. I know it is. Bannister?
Yeah.
Well, this is part of a massive field. We believe it could be 1,000 runners, which would be a record for this 14th or 15th running of the Redcar Half Marathon, sponsored by ICI and supported by Redcar. In Court from Hartlepool, just limbering up, one of their race favourites.
Well, I've got a wheelchair on a max, I can see at the front. There's one wheelchair running and it's starting with the rest of them.
And it's a start.
That's McCluskey, 642. That's McCluskey.
It's the start of the Redcar Half Marathon.
Watch them weights.
Number 642, Kevin McCluskey, is already to the fore. Ian Cook now has taken the lead. So two of the pre-race favourites are already in the van.
Oh yeah, it's not a pretty glamorous job, is it?
Go on, Cooley.
So there's a leading group just breaking away from maybe 8 to 10 runners. Even those are also disintegrated on this slightly downhill stretch. To Waveney Road,
It's Jeff Laws, I think, or something like that.
named after the river that bisects Suffolk from Norfolk. Five now have broken away, and we're still half a mile into the race, and it's amazing how quickly these events are sorted out. Certainly the winner will come from this front five.
I'll tell you what, Cooley's pressing on here. Go on, Cooley.
Up to the 1 mile mark, and it's looking like about 5 minutes. Around about the 5-minute mark.
503, 504.
5:04 opening mile then.
Which is flatter, that's slow.
I think there's a bit of a breeze there.
Cooley's pushing away, you know.
And
Where's this fellow vanished?
Ian Cook there, on excellent form. Recent winner of the Middlesbrough 10K. But at 38, it would be a great performance if he could pull this off. But he's certainly going to.
Where's the fellow dropped off? Is he packed up?
Ski is
Is it? If it is Kevin McCluskey, man, I don't know.
threading slightly off the back.
Who's this 655? That's not McCluskey, is it? Have we got a programme on here?
You can see we've done
Got a programme?
lots of research for this event.
That'd be McCluskey.
So there's 4 in front now. Headed by Ian Cook. And number 655 is looking very easy,
Can you get in touch with Max?
swinging along there.
Can you ask him who 655 is? Billy Creek.
We've got Jeff Laws from Sunderland.
Stop the van and ask him.
They're
No, there's
This is a 5 mile.
Well, there's a 2
What
mile.
mile is coming up? It's past the 5.
How about Kogi?
Martin Scaife at the back there, Jeff Laws, Ian Cook. We have just one unidentified runner at the moment, number 655.
I interviewed Taylor in October. That's not Taylor. I mean McCluskey.
And we don't think it's Kevin McCluskey.
That's what it's called.
So
There's a few vets in that pack there. There's 3 vets in that Jason pack.
But
There's
he's,
Tony Livingston, he's a vet in the yellow, and there's the black and
as per usual in the following group, pretty near the front, are some of the top veteran runners. And Ian Cook at 38 is heading this race. So he's going to be a great newcomer to the vet ranks in the not too distant future. Promised it's now turned quite sunny, although still blustery. Hunter is leading the second group, and I'm certainly believe that there is a chance for 1 or 2 runners to get back with this leading group. They are not moving away. We'll be sharing the pace a bit now for these 4 runners at the front. Certainly if they slowed untoward, they'd have some more company.
They're slowly more, we'll have to walk. I'll tell you what, if they're slowly more, we'll be walking with them.
We're coming up a bit of an incline here. 5 there, we're still to find his name.
I don't recognise the shirt.
It's just been passed in round about the 16-minute mark.
When was the 3 miles? Oh shit, I didn't get the 3rd mile.
I shouted it.
When?
I said, oh, we went round the roundabout.
That's about 16 minutes.
So it's a fairly steady pace. At this current rate, we would expect a winning time of around 68 minutes. Certainly Paul Davis-Hale's course record is in no danger today. And the group behind is, in fact the 2 groups are rather reminiscent of what happened on New Year's Day at the Morpeth, where groups gathered together to shelter from the winds. And it is quite blustery today, so it looks like the same thing is happening. Although in the distance there you'll see one of the early leaders in the white has got himself detached, and it's going to be a long hard run for him.
Oh bloody hell, he's taking water on board the 655.
Well, certainly on a cool day like this,
It's surprising.
it is surprising that any fluid is required. But dehydration does have an effect to play, and all the studies show that a couple of % reduction in water in the body does have an effect on performance.
Yes, I know, I noticed
Martin Scaife has just taken the lead. I think it's the first time we've seen him in front. He's wearing gloves, you'll note. And moving well. So 655 is back in front. Ian Cook there's just taking a ride.
Hello?
21:20 for the 4 mile mark.
58 for the last two. 58 for the last two, average
But they've come up a
5:30.
bit of a bank there, so it slowed their pace a bit. The road surfaces are pretty smooth for this course, but there are a lot of subtle inclines, and this is another subtle drop in the course, and they're all taking advantage and moving well with it. I expect the next mile to go through it may be as quick as 5, 10 or 15. All these 4 runners are concentrating, trying to hold the form and trying to be economic. Quite a scenic sight, but I'm afraid I can't film much because of the bumps. This is the 5 mile point, and they're just passing it now. Well, my prediction of a 5:10 to 5:15 mile is fairly accurate. That mile went by in 5:12, so there's some signs that the pace is improving. And I don't know whether Ian Cook has a marathon career, but he runs like a marathon runner. Very economic. Feet close to the ground. Not much back lift. He's looking like he can hold this pace for a long time. The grounds of Kirkleatham. And back on the main road. Making a race of it. Are we looking at the first 3 places? And in what order? The Greystones for the 2nd time. And the gap is doubled between the lead and the following group. There was a chance at one time that 1 or 2 could get back, but I think that chance is gone.
It's very slow, you know.
Mark has just been passed. There's the back markers now. As they
This is going to be fun games, isn't it? It's on the outside.
start to be overtaken by the
Has Cookly lost touch?
front few, and Ian Cook seems to have lost touch, lost a bit of concentration with that kind of melee with the ambulance and the stragglers. This sometimes happens. Often as not, it happens at water stops. Just that brief lack of concentration. And the 2, Martin Scaife is probably the younger of the group at 25. They've taken advantage and pushed on. Just past 6 miles. This could be where we sort out number 1 and 2. It's difficult when you lose 10 metres and you've been concentrating and you're going up a hill to get back. But our number 655 is still looking comfortable. They're certainly pressing on. There's a Sunderland lad there, and Ian Cook struggled to get back. And each little knot of these stragglers will hold them up and lessen their concentration. They're having a chat.
Even better here.
You're going backwards then. 7 mile will be coming up, is it?
Yes, it is.
So these two have got away. A couple of opportunists saw the chance and took it. The 7 mile mark is approaching now. 37:34. So it's not a dramatic pace by any means. Around about 5:20 on average. At this average pace, as we're now past the halfway point, I'm predicting a time between 69:30 and 70 minutes. So it's a very bleak open landscape up here, and every breath of air will be, the wind will be felt by these runners. Well, this is probably more or less home territory for the leader now, Martin Scaife. He's from the local club Mandale. May even do some of these long runs along parts of this route. Certainly familiarity with a course does help to breed confidence. In the background we can see T-Sport, huge ICI works, who are sponsoring this event. Certainly this type of event is becoming more and more difficult to stage with the amount of requirements for coning, as you can see, along vast tracks of this course. This 13 miles, 192.5 yard course. Half marathons were virtually unheard of 20 years ago, and I can think of only one or two in the whole country. Probably the most well known being the Freckleton half marathon in Lancashire. But now it is a very popular distance. Quite a few of these runners will be doing this instead of a long run in preparation for next month's London Marathon. You see, even with the foreshortening of the camera, they've got a tidy lead, maybe 80 metres. Jeff Laws just passes the 8 miles now. He's about 15 seconds adrift. It's been a bit of a bit more slowing of the pace there, 43.20, which a 5.25 average now, but as you can see there's still inclines there. There's another nasty little one here. It's not an easy course by any means. And Jeff Laws, you can just see in third place now. Ex-Sunday League footballer, turned runner, looks a doughty, tough runner, as many of these ex-footballers tend to be.
This fella's got the right idea.
We're still Martin Scaife and another, number 655. Kevin McCluskey's definitely not in the race. Ian Hunt is nowhere to be seen. Ian Cook has just been swallowed up by that following group, swept up as they say. And Jeff Laws is remaining in a comfortable third place as we head towards 9 miles. Head back towards Redcar. There's a fair bit of downhill. It's not the traditional place to make a break. It's usually going uphill, but you never know. Well, 49.03 at 9 miles.
This is one in the mosque, isn't it?
Well, we're told we're in the tough, posh part of the area, mosque.
Hello, Marty. Yeah, you know, no walk this week because I'm going off Thursday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but I'll be out next week. Pass the message on.
He's got what, 10 yards?
Send me a telephone call.
He's got a break on.
Yeah, we've got to break down a hill. As I said, not the traditional way to do it, but the lad's feeling good. He's letting his legs do the work. He's probably got greater leg speed. He's probably been doing some track work. And he's quite an incline here. I don't think he's away though. And this should be a quickish mile.
I think he's broken it.
Well, it's still a long trek back to hold the lead. And sometimes a break at this stage before the 10 mile mark can be the undoing. So short of stop and asking him his name, all we can tell you is he looks like he's going to win.
Yeah, there's a chance to see front. He's got about a 30-metre lead, hasn't he?
Well, he seems to be full of running. He did great from the start. And we'll probably kick ourselves for not knowing his name when it comes to pass.
Right, we're 10 miles now.
10 mile.
10 miles being passed. And now, always a significant part of a half marathon. A 49 mile. Big quick mile that. All the downhill stretch was used, and at 4:49, easily the fastest mile of the whole race. Eclipsing the first mile by some 15 seconds. Convinced that Martin Scaife can't get back here. Just seen behind. He's certainly lost no more at the moment. He's holding his own, and it could be that number 655 is going through a slightly bad patch. But when you're leading this well, that's just relative.
2.5 2.5 corns behind.
Two and a half.
Corns, 2 corns.
2 cones, so we reckon about 30 metres, perhaps.
Come on, Martin, make a race of it.
Now
58, 52.
58.52, so it's another excellent mile, another 5-minute mile. 4 minutes 59, so that's 2 miles been rattled up in under 10 minutes. 9 minutes 48 to be precise, and it's certainly done some damage. He's running well, he's in control, he's coming off his toes, good rhythm. He's not going to lose this one. Shot now, and you can see we should give Martin some credit here because he's been following in the wake of 2 sub-5-minute miles, and he's still, whilst he might not win it, he's still round about. We're now on the part of the Redcar 10-mile course, which was such a popular event and yielded many fine performances. About to try and find out who number 655 is, but he's definitely on his way to a win here, and if he can keep this rattling rate up, will be 69 and not very much bits, which is not bad when you consider the time at 9 miles. Time 9 miles was 49.03. You'd have thought almost impossible to get home in under 70 minutes from that type of time. Hotel. And
3:53.
another 5-minute mile. So we've now seen 3 miles knocked off in 14:49. Neck out and say 69.25 for the winning time for as yet unknown winner. Going through Redcar's Golden Mile. The bumps are caused by the speed retarders, but there's not stopping today's winner. He's going to have a. He's going to come home about 30 seconds to the good. Well, we've got his name now. He's called Martin.
Oh no, that's Martin.
Okay, nice Redcar half marathon winner. Yeah, very pleased with that. Well done. Well, here comes the second one, then 4:46, and that's from Mandale Harriers Martin Skate. And what a great battle he had there. But let's
age. There he comes then. 3rd place, good position. Tony Livingston there from going through there in 6th, and 160 just behind him. Try and spot his name there, but coming through in a Nike vest this time. And that was Stuart Dickinson. Ian Cook, one of the early leaders there from Hartlepool Burn Road, coming through. Good run into the first veteran there. So well done, Tony. And of course, those athletes will probably have seen Tony recently featured in today's runner, wearing 312. And Alan Denton Bladen there, we said 40, and just behind him, Michael Jones there, wearing 286 from South Shield Harriers. Well, some good North Eastern club athletes, and as I mentioned, it is the North Eastern Championships here today, so we're delighted that. Don't forget, there is a sport next week, but I don't know whether you'll be spotting the numbers next week, but this is good practice for you.
It's a very good practice, and number 66, Paul Bentley coming in. Well done, Paul.
just practicing his voiceover for next week with Tim Hutchings at the Nationals. 6.42 there, just going through, and number 5.63. Good club athletes, these, of course. 6.42 just gone through there.
Alone for quite a number of miles. Karen Shaw from South Chilton is about 10 metres in the lead from Sheila Allen and Sue Abyss. So it's all to go for on the last mile.
Well, what a close mile. What was it like on the straight between sort of 10 and 13 miles today?
I think a little bit better than it was on the bypass. Basically, everybody ran Indian file on the bypass, trying to shelter out of somebody else's slipstream. And the race has changed as they turned left into Maskin and had the downhill section.
Well, thanks, Peter. There, Peter from the lead motorcyclist, and as we mentioned there, the two ladies, Sheila Allen and Sue Abyss, the two leading ladies. As they sort of come into position, Sue Abyss or Sheila Allen. Sheila Allen, of course, won this event in 1997. She's desperate to win this event before. Sue Abyss, of course, won the Reykjavik Iceland Marathon last year, running in next month's Flora London Marathon, and what a great race that promises to be. And I'm certain there's some good racing. But Peter, in the meantime, you were saying you've got quite a few events you're going to. Redcar this week, and next week the Nationals.
We've got the National Cross Country next weekend, which is in Roundhay Park in Leeds. Always a very big event on a lot of the athletes' calendars. National Cross Country, the biggest cross country event in the country.
It's a home fixture for you almost, isn't it?
It is a home fixture. Some of the top boys won't be running because it's the week before the World Cross Country Championships, and obviously the World Crosses now. There's two races, the short course and longer courses, but it'll still be a very good event. But we do have a lot of events. We're trying to cover the whole country with events, so everything from 10k through to half marathons. It's great to be involved, especially in one of this level.
Well, in fact, if you're wondering who I'm talking to, I am talking to the former Olympic silver medalist, World Championship silver and Commonwealth gold Peter Elliott, now of course running promotions manager at one of our sub-sponsors, View From Here today, and Peter kindly taking time out on this Sunday morning, driven up from Rotherham, and to be here on a rather chilly Redcar morning, but it promised to be a great race, and we've seen some good running, and it looks like a good women's race in progress, Peter.
It's just such a close run affair, but it's great. There's so many people out, as you say. The weather is a little bit blustery.
We're in Scotland next month as well. Tell us a little about the Balmoral road races on the 11th of April.
Yes, we've got an event at Balmoral on Easter Saturday, 11th of April, and there's races for elite going down to open competitions as well, which it's a great opportunity. It's not very often you get a chance of actually running on the Queen's lawns, and hopefully the corgis will be well tied up. But there's a great deal of interest, and it's going to go out live on BBC, so with it being Easter weekend, we're expecting a lot of punters there watching as well.
Thanks, and we'll just try and spot some more men then, Peter. Thanks there, Peter Elliott, the former Olympic silver medalist, now looking for numbers for me in the car here. Still looking for the leading ladies, and it was between Sheila Allen and Sue Abyss. Number 597 just coming in. Just off my sheet, Peter, it must be on yours. 597. Mike Walker, well done. Mike Walker there, just coming through, and the conditions really aren't favourable for times today, but I'm sure that many of these will be running in London, and they'll be looking for a good hard burnout over the half marathon distance. Rob Sewell just going through the finish gantry, and the women are just coming in, and we're just trying to spot the names here, but we've had a bit of a change at the Drake, and the pre-race favourite Karen Shaw from Shildon, we haven't mentioned it before, but Karen Shaw 9:29 from Shildon. She's recently done 56 minutes at the Snake Lane 10. Sue Abyss there coming through as well. Sheila Allen in second place. So Sue Abyss in third, Sheila Allen in second. Karen Shaw in the lead from Shildon at the moment. So it's Karen Shaw from Sheila Allen from Sue Abyss, and Karen Shaw perhaps the pre-race favourites, and Sue Abyss is just going past with a loop to do. She's about 300 metres from there, but at the moment Karen Shaw in the lead from Shildon, and Karen Shaw having a very, very good run here today. Karen Shaw coming into view. She's got about 100 metres to go. She's in the red and the dark vest there. Karen Shaw from Shildon. And what a great victory this is going to be. Coming with about 50 metres to go. Put your hands together and give her a big northeast welcome here to Karen Shaw, the 1998 winner of the ICI Redcar Half Marathon. Here she comes. 1 hour, 20 minutes and 20 seconds unofficially. Karen Shaw wins. Last year's champion Sheila Allen 10 seconds or so behind her. Desperately close, but second place for last year's champion Sheila Allen takes second, and in third place about 100 metres behind Sue Abbis there, just coming through, the previous Reykjavik Marathon winner, of course using this race as a build-up to next year's Flora London Marathon. And that's the first three there in the North East Championships. Sheila Allen in second, Sue Abbis in third. And Sue Abbis, here she comes, preparing for London, taking the bronze medal in third position. Well, those three ladies certainly got away from the rest of the field. We said that we had, Peter Clifford was saying that we had an exciting ladies event, and by that we certainly did, and those three almost 30 seconds or so separate. 5:05.
Increase the stamina.